Back in secondary school, our school bus had a simple routine. Pick us up, drop us off, same stops every day. Nothing ever changed. One afternoon, we were heading home. The bus was half empty because many students stayed for club activities. It was just me, two juniors, and our driver, Uncle Bala. We were close to my stop when we saw something strange. A grown man was standing at one of the student-only bus stops. No one ever waited there except kids. It was a rule. Adults were not allowed on school property during drop-off hours. The man kept pacing, checking his watch, looking at the road like he was expecting us. As the bus slowed down toward the stop, Uncle Bala muttered, "Who be this one we day here?" The man stepped forward and waved at us confidently. When the bus stopped, he walked straight to the door and tried to pull it open. Uncle Bala didn't unlock it. The man frowned and pointed at the two junior students behind me. "I'm here to pick them. Their mother sent me." We all knew those boys. They lived with their grandmother, not their mother, and nobody ever sent strangers. The boys shook their heads fast. "We don't know him." The man's face changed instantly, anger, not embarrassment. He tried to force the door. When that failed, he walked to the back of the bus and tugged on the emergency exit. That's when Uncle Bala sped off. As we left him behind, he didn't chase or shout. He just stood there, staring at the bus like he'd memorized our faces. The next day, security moved that bus stop inside the school gate. They never told us why, but we all already knew. I used to live in a small apartment building, a quiet place, only 4 units. Everyone kept to themselves, except the man who lived next door to me. He never caused trouble, never greeted anyone, but he watched, all the time. His door was directly across from mine, and whenever I left for work, I'd find his peephole dark, meaning he was standing there, looking through it. At first, I thought I was imagining things. Then it became obvious. He always knew when I stepped out, when I came home, when I took out the trash. One evening, I returned from work and noticed something strange. My door was slightly open, just a crack. I never leave it like that. I pushed it open slowly and checked inside. Nothing was missing. Nothing was moved. But something felt weird, like someone had been inside just moments ago. I didn't report it because I wasn't sure. A few days later, I came home early. As I walked up the stairs, I heard a sound, my door closing softly. I stopped, completely frozen. My neighbor stepped out of my apartment holding a tiny notebook. He didn't even look surprised to see me. He smiled and said, "You should really lock your door better." Then he walked past me like it was nothing. I locked myself inside and called the police immediately. They came, searched his apartment, and found the notebook. Inside were notes about every person in the building, our schedules, our routines, our habits. Under my name, he had written, "Almost ready." I moved out the next day. Many years ago, I was driving home from a late shift around 11:30 p.m. The road was empty, just long stretches of bush and a few broken streetlights. It was the kind of place nobody walks at night. About halfway home, I saw someone on the side of the road. A girl, young, maybe 17. She wasn't waving or crying. She was just standing there barefoot, holding her arms tight against her chest like she was freezing. At first, I drove past. I'm a careful guy. I don't stop for random people at night, especially not in an area known for armed robbery. But something about her made me slow down. She didn't look drunk or crazy. She looked empty, like someone who had nothing left. I reversed slowly and lowered my window a bit. "You okay?" I asked. She didn't answer. She just whispered, "Please don't leave me." I unlocked the passenger door and told her to get in. She didn't move fast. When she sat down, she kept her head low and her hands shaking. "Do you need a hospital?" I asked. She shook her head quickly. "No hospital, no police station." That was strange. Most people in trouble want the police. I didn't force it. I just drove. After a few minutes, she said quietly, "They're looking for me." I didn't need details. I could tell something bad had happened. She had bruises on her wrists, like someone held her with ropes. Her ankles looked the same. "Who's looking for you?" I asked. She hesitated. Then she said one word, "Men." That was enough for me. I decided to take her to a small clinic owned by a friend of mine. He's the kind of person who doesn't ask too many questions. I thought that was the safest option. But before I could turn, headlights appeared behind us. A black SUV, fast. The girl saw it and grabbed my arm with surprising strength. "That's them," she whispered. "Don't stop." The SUV stayed tight on my bumper. No overtaking, no horn, nothing. Just following. I didn't speed like a madman. I didn't want an accident. I just kept driving steadily, waiting for a chance to lose them. When we reached a crossing, I quickly turned off my headlights and made a sharp right into a small dirt path most people don't know. I used to take that route when the main road was blocked. The SUV shot past the turn, still chasing the road ahead. For a moment, silence filled the car. The girl started crying quietly, like she didn't know how to cry normally anymore. We drove to the clinic. My friend took her in without question. He checked her, cleaned her wounds, gave her water and food. She stayed there until the next morning. Later, she told us she had escaped a house where she and 2 other girls were kept by men who sold them. She ran when they were drunk. She had no phone, no family nearby, nothing. But she was alive. That night, she told me something I still think about. I wasn't scared when I ran. I was scared no car might stop. I went on a cinema date with a girl named Ada. It was the first time meeting her in person. Normal vibes, nothing strange. The hall was about half full, not empty, not packed. We chose seats in the middle row, far from everyone else, so we could talk a bit before the movie started. While we were settling in, a man walked down our row. Not unusual, but instead of passing by, he stopped right beside Ada and checked his ticket like he was confused. He said, "Sorry, I think you're in my seat." Ada checked her ticket. We were in the correct seats, H12 and H13. The man's ticket said H13 too, but Ada noticed something. The ticket was for yesterday's date. She pointed it out politely. The man didn't move. He just stared at us. "I've always sat here," he said. "This is my spot." Ada whispered, "Let's just move." I shook my head. "No, these are our seats." A couple in the row behind us leaned forward and said, "Please don't argue with him. He does this all the time. He waits for women to come alone or with dates and then tries to sit beside them." Before I could reply, the man leaned closer to Ada and said quietly, "You don't have to sit with him. Come sit where I can see you." That was it. I stood up, waved for security, and explained. The couple backed us up. Security came fast. They knew the man already. Apparently, he followed women from screening to screening. They dragged him out while he kept yelling. Ada didn't leave my side the rest of the night, and I don't often go to cinemas again. I'm not proud of it, but for a few months I tried online dating, mostly out of boredom. I worked long hours, didn't go out much, and the app made it easy to talk to people. One evening I matched with a girl named Ria. Pretty. Simple bio. She said she loved quiet dates and long conversations. Nothing weird. We talked for about 2 weeks. She replied fast, asked normal questions, joked around a bit. She seemed shy, but normal shy, not suspicious shy. Her photos showed the same girl. Long dark hair, bright smile, nice eyes. Same outfit in 3 different pictures, but I didn't think too much of it. After enough chatting, she suggested we meet. She picked a small cafe near the highway, a neutral place, also very public. I arrived a little early, ordered water, scanned the door for the girl from the pictures. That's when a different girl walked in, not the girl from the photos. Older, maybe late 30s. She looked around the cafe like she was nervous. She spotted me and waved. I didn't wave back. I just stared, confused. She walked straight to my table. "Hi, it's me. I'm Ria." I kept quiet. She sat down quickly like she didn't want to give me a chance to leave. Then she pulled out her phone and placed it face down on the table. "I can explain," she said. Her hands were shaking. Before I asked anything, she blurted out, "I'm not trying to trick you. I'm trying to get away from someone. I used those photos so he wouldn't find me." I stayed silent. I didn't know if she was lying or telling the truth. She leaned in and whispered, "Please listen. I'm supposed to meet someone here in 10 minutes. He thinks I'm meeting him alone. I needed someone here so he won't try anything." I blinked. "Why me? You were the only match who seemed normal and not creepy," she said quietly. I didn't know what else to do. That's when the cafe door opened again. A man walked in. Big guy, rough looking. He He scanned the place slowly, like he had a list of faces he wanted to check off. The woman, Ria, went stiff. "That's him," she whispered. "Don't look at him. He followed me across 2 states." My stomach tightened, but I didn't get up. Something in her voice told me this wasn't a game. The man's eyes finally landed on our table. He stared at me first, then at her, then back at me. He started walking toward us. I was ready to stand or shout or do something. But right then the cafe owner walked out from the back and said, loud enough for everyone to hear, "Sir, if you're here to cause trouble again, I'm calling the police now." The man stopped. Then he turned around and walked out without a word. The cafe owner sighed. "Second time this week." The woman exhaled shakily and said, "Thank you. I'm sorry I dragged you into this." I never saw her again, never matched with her again, never used that dating app again either. It was then I found out some people lie online, and some people hide online because they're running from someone much worse.